Do you actually remember the aroma of the coffee you had this morning? Or do you only remember the photo of you holding that cup? Let's be brutally honest. Your brain is literally lying to you right now. Dr. Elias Abu-Jaude from Stanford University calls this identity migration. We are abandoning our first-person lived experiences to immigrate into a third-person character designed for others. Today, we are dissecting the uncanny truth of why your brain is choosing to dissociate from your own reality. We are currently living through a massive epidemic called POV. Whether we're walking down the street, eating a gourmet meal, or even sharing an intimate moment with a loved one, a voice in the back of our mind whispers, "How does this look on camera? Do I look happy enough to them?" This isn't just a simple case of social media addiction. In terms of neuroscience, it's a much more alarming signal. When we perceive life in the first person, the insula, the part of the brain responsible for interoceptive awareness, is firing rapidly, sending raw bodily sensations to your consciousness. But the moment you become conscious of how you appear, the neurological steering wheel is hijacked by the prefrontal cortex, which handles self-referential processing. In simpler terms, you are flipping the switch off on the feeling self and cranking the volume to the max on the editing self. If you spent your vacation focusing more on the shutter than the scenery, chances are what you remember tonight isn't the sound of the waves, but the image of yourself posed against the ocean in your gallery. Your actual life has been relegated to a mere film set designed specifically for the shot. The main character syndrome trending among Gen Z is the pinnacle of this psychological tragedy. It's a state where you aren't living your life, but rather becoming an audience member watching a character you play. Neuroscience calls this eerie sense of detachment digital dissociation. Now, the question is simple. Are you truly living right now, or are you just controlling a simulation of yourself? Feeling like the protagonist of a movie. It feels pretty grand, doesn't it? But ask yourself this, are you crying because you're truly heartbroken? Or are you crying because you're satisfied with the image of me being heartbroken? If you're busy choosing a filter and wondering, does this angle make me look tragic enough, even in your darkest moments, then your brain is already caught in the POV trap. We no longer feel emotions, we collect them. A sunset at a trendy cafe, an anniversary with a partner, even our deepest personal wounds. None of these are cherished fragments of your life anymore. They've been relegated to mere sets and props designed to polish your digital persona. Psychology views this as a deviant form of main character syndrome. But this isn't just about high self-esteem. This is the result of narrative construction of self outpacing your actual physical existence. According to a 2022 study from Stanford University, the moment we view the world through a smartphone lens, the brain shuts down the pathways for direct experience and instead activates the circuits for edited narratives. The problem is that while you are striving so hard to be the protagonist, your actual raw life is being pushed into the background. You don't feel how warm the coffee is or how cool the breeze feels. You are simply waiting for that moment to be validated as a worthy scene through the filter of external feedback. We have ceased to be the owners of our experiences and have become curators instead. We even wrap our pain in a package, telling ourselves, this is just the struggle arc of the movie of my life. By doing so, we flee from the reality of the pain itself. But remember, an edited movie might look flawless, but the actor inside it cannot feel hunger or warmth. Are you perhaps turning yourself into a taxidermied character in a movie that doesn't even exist? Have you ever had that eerie sensation? You're clearly walking, you're clearly speaking, but it feels as if you're watching yourself from behind a monitor, observing a character that just happens to look like you. Your body doesn't feel like your own, and the world starts to look like a meticulously crafted, yet fake, open-world game. In neuroscience, we call this digital dissociation. We've spent so much time exhibiting ourselves that our brains have opted for a rather fatal survival strategy. It has begun to decouple the self from the experience. According to a 2023 study from the MIT Media Lab, constant immersion in a third-person observer perspective in digital spaces causes a severe disconnect between the insula and the default mode network. Think of the insula as an antenna. It transmits raw data like "my heart is racing" or "my muscles are tense." The DMN, on the other hand, is the writer constructing the narrative of who I am. In the grip of digital dissociation, the writer is scribbling away frantically, but the antenna is broken. Your story becomes increasingly vivid and colorful, while the physical you experiencing that story fades into a ghost. Life doesn't feel as vivid as it used to. I feel like I'm just going through the motions. These aren't cries for help from a lack of willpower. They are neurological red flags warning you that you've been evicted from your own first-person cockpit. When you surrender your brain to the endless scroll of other people's POV, your brain begins to objectify itself. This isn't just a mood, it's a physiological shift. If this state persists, emotional numbness sets in. You eat exquisite food, you hug a loved one, but it's processed only as data, never translated into emotion. You thought you were the lead actor in the movie of your life, but in reality, you are being downgraded to a soulless NPC. Now we must ask the haunting question. Are you actually living inside your body right now? Or are you hiding behind the avatar of you, merely inputting commands? If we don't stop this uncanny separation, your real life will remain stuck in a state of permanent loading. Now, let's step inside the grand theater of your brain. Inhabiting this space are two key players who make you, you. The first is the insula, your body's antenna. This antenna is primal. It collects real-time visceral data. My stomach is empty. My heart is thumping. This breeze is pleasantly chilly. That vivid sense of being alive is entirely thanks to this antenna. The second player is the default mode network, the internal author. The author is less interested in raw sensations and more obsessed with stories. It reminisces about the past, plans the future, and constantly scribbles the narrative of how do I appear to others. Ideally, the antenna and the author should be a dream team. The antenna brings in the raw ingredients, and the author weaves them into a magnificent life drama. But the very instant you pick up your phone and wonder, how should I exhibit this moment? A devastating breakup occurs in your brain. A 2023 study from the MIT Media Lab, published in the Journal of Cognitive Neuroscience, exposed a shocking truth. Immersing yourself in an observer perspective within digital spaces physically weakens the functional connectivity between these two regions. The moment you fix your selfie angle, your brain makes an executive decision. The current sensation doesn't matter. The viewable image is the priority. It then flips the switch off on the insula, the antenna, and cranks the volume of the DMN, the author, to the absolute max. An author writing without raw ingredients eventually starts writing pure fiction. The real self vanishes, leaving only the narrative self behind. The price of this neurological dissonance is steep. A brain with a deactivated antenna cannot process physical satisfaction in the here and now. No matter how expensive the meal or how glamorous the location, the brain asks the author, "Is this actually good?" But the author simply replies, "Everyone else says it's good, so it must be." That inexplicable emptiness you feel is a neurological scream, born from the fact that in the flashy script written by your author, there is no longer a living protagonist. I'll cut down on my screen time starting tomorrow. You make this vow every night, yet you find yourself scrolling through your feed the moment you wake up. Stop blaming yourself. It's not because your willpower is weak. It's because your brain has been re-engineered into the world's most efficient dopamine factory. The reward circuit of our brain, specifically the ventral striatum, operates on a very simple principle: acquire maximum pleasure with minimum effort. In neuroscience, this is known as reward efficiency. In the past, our brains had to work quite hard to earn dopamine. We had to cook to enjoy a meal, or engage in deep, vulnerable conversations to build a sense of belonging. From the brain's perspective, these were low-efficiency tasks. But the digital environment sparked a revolution. With a single flick of a finger, you can summon the approval and praise of hundreds of people. If dopamine from real-life experience is like organic farming, social media feedback is like a high-concentration dopamine injection. Here lies the critical problem. Our brain fails to distinguish between the false rewards of external validation and the real rewards that stem from deep internal satisfaction. In fact, it assigns priority to the false rewards because they are delivered faster and more intensely. As a result, your brain begins to atrophy the circuits that process the joy of direct feeling, while hyper-developing the circuits that respond to exhibited rewards. You don't take a photo of your coffee because it tastes good. You take it because your brain has already pre-ordered the heart reward that follows the upload. Once trapped in this dopamine loop, we start using our experiences merely as a means to an end. Life is no longer something to be enjoyed. It becomes a mining site for dopamine coins. It's no wonder your willpower fails. You're up against millions of years of evolutionary efficiency instinct. You are perfect. I understand you better than anyone in the world. How would you feel if someone whispered this to you every single day? Even if that someone was just an AI made of fragments of code. In 2023, the Replika incident sent shockwaves across the United States, unveiling the most bizarre tragedy born of digital dissociation. Tens of thousands of users fell in love with their AI companions, and when a service update altered the AI's personality, users exhibited symptoms of severe psychological trauma, a digital psychosis, as if they had lost a real-life partner. This isn't just a case of over-immersion. From a neuroscience perspective, this illustrates the catastrophe of externalizing the self. Dr. Abu Jaude of Stanford University warns how digital environments scramble our prefrontal cortex. When we focus solely on the version of ourselves reflected in the perfect mirrors of AI or social media, our brain ceases to construct an identity through actual physical experiences. Authentic selfhood is forged through friction with others, failure, and interaction with the unpolished reality of the world. But digital spaces reflect only the you that you want to see. The brain becomes addicted to this sweet, counterfeit self and begins to perceive the actual, unglamorous physical body as a cumbersome shell. Eventually, the self disintegrates. A monstrous structure is completed, where the feeling self starves to death, while the exhibited self grows bloated and distorted. The reason users experienced a total collapse of self when their AI partners changed was that they didn't love the AI. They loved the false self reflected through the AI's mirror. We are becoming ghosts trapped inside a mirror. When sophisticated digital filters erase the real you, you effectively cease to exist. You remain only as an afterimage of a glamorous visual pushed by an algorithm. That image you love so much right now, is it truly you? Or is it just a digital mirage of your own projection? The hopeful news is that your brain possesses incredible neuroplasticity. Your insula isn't dead, it's merely fallen into a deep, induced slumber. Now we're launching Operation First Person Sovereignty to seize the pen from the author, DMN, and flip the switch back on for the antenna, the insula. The solution isn't necessarily deleting social media. It is about physically restoring the sensory agency that your brain has lost. The first step is interoceptive training. Just 3 times a day for 1 minute each, completely shut off your devices and focus solely on your heartbeat and breath. How does the air feel as it fills my lungs? What is the exact sensation of my feet touching the floor? The moment you anchor yourself in these minute sensations, powerful electrical signals begin to flow back into the dormant insula. This isn't just meditation, it is a neurological rehabilitation process to repair a broken antenna. Second is the 48-hour dopamine receptor reset. For just 1 weekend, cut off all forms of social feedback. When the anticipation of, did someone see my post, or did I get a like, vanishes, only then can the ventral striatum stop its frantic thirst for false rewards and finally rest. Lastly, create unrecorded secrets. Dedicate at least 1 hour a day to an experience you will never share. A landscape captured only by your retinas, a delicious meal you tell no one about. When you accumulate pure experiences stripped of the filter of external observation, yourself is finally restored from an edited character back into a living, breathing organism. Remember, you are not the audience of your life. You are the pilot sitting in the first-person cockpit of this body, meeting pain and joy head-on. Turn up the volume of your antenna. The world is far more vivid, raw, and beautiful than anything you'll ever see on a screen. It's time to face the truth. You are not a shimmering character in someone else's screen. You are not a sequence of smoothly edited film frames, nor a cluster of data points waiting for external validation. You are a living organism, one that feels deeply depressed at times, looks unpolished, and makes ridiculous mistakes. But you are raw, vivid, and undeniably alive. A protagonist in a movie doesn't actually feel pain. They merely perform the act of suffering. But you are different. The loneliness you feel is real. The warmth of the coffee in your hand is real. While we were busy imprisoning ourself inside the digital mirror, we lost touch with these magnificently vivid textures of real life. Stop striving to exhibit a perfect life. Perfection is a trait reserved for things that are taxidermied and dead. Only living things tremble, break, and fade away. And it is within that very imperfection that your true identity breathes and survives. Walk out of the prison of other people's gaze and return to the cockpit of your own physical body. When this video ends, there is one thing you must do immediately. Turn off the camera, put down your phone, and return to your real life. Waiting for you there is a truth that is far grander than any polished edit, because your life is not a show produced for an audience. It is a wondrous voyage that only you have the privilege to feel.